everyone, and welcome to the Medium Next Door. And my name is Medium Bonnie Page. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so happy to have you here. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about my column. I have a new column, and it is in the Sentinel and Enterprise. And it is in the lifestyle section every Tuesday. So I'm so happy to bring more of a personal touch to this column that I write every week today to you. And so it's kind of fun because it lets people write in and ask me questions. And I'm always trying to demystify mediumship for you, right? Talking to heaven, God, Jesus, and the angels, because I love to share what I see, hear, and feel. So I'm happy to have this column and just happy to bring last week's column to life a little bit for you today. And so the column's name was, What's Heaven Like? What is it like? What do you see or feel or think when you think of heaven? And of course, the name was The Sky's the Limit. And so last week, I thought I would put on my Facebook page this exact question. You know, what pops into your head when you think of heaven? Right? Is it, you know, blue skies? Is it your loved ones? And so it was kind of nice. I got a really big response from it, and I was so happy with that. So if you ever have a question for me, you can go to my website, bonniepagemedium.com, and there's a place to ask a question. And I would love to answer your questions here for you on the show and in the column. So most people, I wrote down, pictured a beautiful, joyful, peaceful place surrounded by their loved ones in heaven. Seeing animals that had passed that they loved, walking in fields, playing, beautiful flowers, more vibrant than here. And that's true. The colors in heaven are very vibrant. And I can tell you that I'm happy that, you know, God shows me different things so that I can tell people what I can see. And I know one night I woke up and I could see a picture running through my head of all the lions and tigers and bears just walking through this field together, but calm and at peace with no fences, and everybody was getting along. So it's just beautiful in heaven. But really, heaven is what you want heaven to be, or what you can picture heaven to be, right? Just like here on earth, if we really have the intention of manifesting what we want to become on this earthly plane, we can do the same thing in heaven. So I was giving a reading today, and this young man showed me, you know, he liked the lakes, he liked the flowers, the trees, but really he liked being on a boat, actually in a rowboat. He just loved being out on the lake and fishing, or sitting back, and he actually showed me him, you know, crossing his legs over and just relaxing, watching the sunrise come up, having a cup of coffee, and doing what he loved to do. And that's really what you can do in heaven. Lots of times I'll see people just still gathering in heaven, right? Sometimes they show me people will be in a diner and they will all just be with their friends and their family, still getting together like they did here. One important note though, I never see anyone actually eating, so I tell everybody, if you like Dunkin' Donuts, go now, because I don't see anybody chewing up there. But really, heaven is probably earth on your best day, what you're doing, what you're enjoying. Music, right? I've heard heaven's music, so celestial and so beautiful. But again, I've seen Jimi Hendrix, and I'm sure that he's playing his music, right? And lots of times, Spirit will give me music myself when I'm sleeping to get a personal message to me. And I know that they do that for you also. When I'm giving readings, I will hear lyrics of songs. Songs like, You Are My Sunshine, My Only Sunshine, or one day last week I heard the song Bicycle Built for Two. And it really was that these people used to actually rent and use bicycles built for two. So know that when you hear music in your head, or you're just waking up and you can hear some lyrics, pay attention, because that's a sign from heaven for you. But what do I see when I'm giving a reading, right? So usually someone will come and they'll sit with me so that they can talk to a loved one, and I'm just a middleman. I'm just the person that can do that for you. It's your loved one stepping forward, and it's you receiving. So it's from spirit, through spirit, to spirit. And what do I see? Well, lots of times your loved ones will come through looking much younger than when they passed. And they'll tell me, or they'll even show me a picture. It could be that an 80-year-old man will show me a picture of him in his sailor's uniform when he was in World War II, right? But really, when we go back to heaven, we get to go back to how we felt and feel on our very best days. So I can tell you that my mom passed 2 years ago, and at first she would come through to me looking how she did when she passed, with longer gray hair. Still very, very beautiful to me. But after a few weeks, she came through looking about 35 with long dark hair, just gorgeous, as I have seen her in pictures. And I said, Mom, it's not fair. Now you look younger than me. And she said, I'm not changing back. So you go back to when you were feeling your best. And I kid around when I'm doing events, and I say, if a medium sees me, I'm going to have on a bikini because I haven't been able to wear one for a long time. So a little sense of humor there, but it always keeps the vibration high and easier to reach spirit, right? So a lot of times people come through, they have no illnesses. They're strong, they're healthy, and they're doing what they want to do. So if you liked even riding a bicycle here, they might come through, show me them, show me a bicycle, or what other hobbies they like to do. This afternoon, I had a young man coming in wearing his baseball jersey and his cap on, and said he loved the outside. And that's what he's doing now. He's enjoying the outside, enjoying hobbies. Lots of people still come through showing me that they crocheted while they were here, and they still like doing that in heaven, right? So imagine heaven kind of being the day that you wake up one morning on earth and you get up and you say, what would I like to do today? Maybe you'd like to go to the beach, right? Maybe you want to go walk beside the ocean. Maybe you love the sound of the waves. Maybe you hear the seagulls. Maybe you love looking up into the clouds. Well, you can still do that in heaven. And they want you to know that they are happy and safe and at peace, and very much with the rest of the family. And lots of times they want me to tell you that, you know, they're still guiding and protecting you from there. But souls are multidimensional, right? So they can be here, here, and here all at once. So don't feel like if you're calling on, I call on my mom all the time, it's okay. She can be other places doing other things at the same time, or with other family members. Like I know she's always watching over my dad, right? He's gonna be 93. But it's okay. She can still hear me, and she can even know my thoughts. So this was kind of fun. I went to the Arthur Findlay College in England just a few weeks ago. And of course, this is a spiritual school where you go to keep learning and learning new techniques and things that other mediums do, because it's really always nice to keep learning, right? So I was there for 7 days with like 100 other mediums, if you can picture that. And we had to kind of practice on each other. So 7 days in a row, my mom would come through, another medium, but she wouldn't just give me a message. She would tell me something I was thinking the day before. And even I was amazed at this. So know that your loved ones can hear your thoughts, right? And so I think knowing that they watch over us and that they know our thoughts and that they want us to be happy and not sad, I think it gives us this responsibility to have a happy day, as happy as we can. Or when a yucky thought comes into our head, just to push that out of the way, right? Because they know our thoughts. And I always tell my clients that come in to see me, pretend that you are someone in heaven looking down at them. Do you think that they want you to look down and see us unhappy? Or do you think they're so excited when we're having a beautiful day? And not only that, you can take them places with you too. Invite them to go to the beach or to ride on the Ferris wheel, or say hi to them. I know you're there. I know you're there. I feel you. I get signs from you, right? Don't we get signs from heaven? And there's a lot of different signs. You know, just the birds or feathers or coins. And when I am giving a reading, I ask the person in heaven, how are you letting your loved one know that you are close? And some of the same, right? There's a lot of birds there, you know, because our loved ones don't become the birds, but they can send the birds. And lots of times they'll say, I send too, so you can hear the music of the birds singing together. But look for signs, and when you recognize them, say thank you. Say thank you. It keeps that conversation going, right? So that's a good thing to do. And remember that people in heaven are doing their regular hobbies, but lots of them tell me that they went on to school, especially if they passed when they're young, they're in school, they're learning. Or just last night, one of my clients, his son had continued to go to college. And what did his dad say? Yeah, we used to stress that he needed to further his education. So, you know, that meant a lot to the son in heaven to be able to say, hey, Dad, I continued and I'm in school. So learning something new. So I had a cousin that was here on earth that was a little shy about singing in front of everyone. And when she came through, she said, I might have been shy here, but I'm not there, Bonnie. And she was in a full choir robe, and she said, I'm singing up here. I'm a singer. And that's what she always wanted to do down here. And so remember that your loved ones can hear you and see you, and they are spending time with you. They always know what you're up to. So, remember, and believe me, when you don't want your loved ones to see you, because it's always that big thing, right? Can my loved ones see me in the shower? If you don't want them to see you during certain situations, just say, hey, everybody, this is my private time. And I assure you that they're going to turn that off for a while, because really, they're just trying to guide and protect you always. So, the angels do that too. I bet you've been driving before and you're going down the road, and all of a sudden you know that, there's 2 roads to take. Which one should I take? And you hear, take a right. That one's going to be safer today, right? So it's not just our loved ones that speak to us. We have guides and angels, and of course, God and Jesus up there, right? All trying to make this road on earth, our schoolroom, a little bit easier. So why do I say that? Why do I call earth our schoolroom? Well, this is our schoolroom. This is where we have trials and tribulations, right? Life goes like this. Why? Why, you say? Why does some people's lives look so much harder than others? Well, we're learning lessons. We're learning lessons here. Why? Once we learn a lesson, we can get away from that lesson. So if the lesson keeps coming back to you and keeps coming back to you, ask yourself, what do I need to know? Because once we learn the lesson, that lesson will go away. But it probably will never be that smooth here for us, because what happens when we learn a lesson? We learn that we can be filled with more compassion, more sympathy, more love for others, a better way of doing things, right? So this is our schoolroom, and heaven is our home. And we're all going to go back to home. But on earth, what are we trying to learn? We're trying to make our soul grow and expand, be filled with unconditional love like it is in heaven, right? So, driving in the snow. I have a little note here I'm looking at. So one day, I always want to know more and more about heaven. So I'm driving my car this winter, and I was actually driving into my Healing and Learning Center that is right here at Leominster now. And I'm driving in, and all of a sudden this wind blows, this big gush of snow, and it's so beautiful. It's beautiful, but I'm driving right in the middle of it. It's this sparkling light. It's like going into this tunnel, and I can't see anything, but I just felt safe. And I hear the voice of God saying, this is what it's like to transition to heaven, Bonnie. This is that peacefulness, but it's beautiful. And it's just having that faith to go through. So driving through and hearing the voice of God, I just thought, this is beautiful. And thank you so much for showing me this. And, I love how they show me things because, I work with clients every day that need to hear these specific things. And so I have seen that white light already. You know how they always say lots of people, if they have a near-death experience, see a beautiful white light. And so one night I awoke to this beautiful light coming down on me, and I'm sleeping in my bed. So I wake up in this bright light, and I look down, and I'm looking like this, and I looked up, and I saw Jesus, just like this, with this white light shining on me. And I said, Jesus, am I dead? And then he was gone, and I'm like, oh, I guess I didn't die, but he wanted me to see that white light. And it is so beautiful. So many people here are so upset when they think of someone passing because they don't know what they're seeing or if they're alone. And I can tell you, I've seen Jesus even standing beside my mother's bed as she got up and he took her to heaven. I've also seen we had to have a dog put down, and I was very, very upset. And Jesus appeared to me and had me put the dog in my arms, in my head. So I had the dog in my hands and hand this dog to Jesus. And that dog turned into a puppy in Jesus's arms. So many people worry about their animals, but I assure you, they are well taken care of. And we are never alone during that time of passing. I am always shown parents or grandparents standing at the foot of the bed. Someone is always there waiting to hold your hand and to make sure that you're not alone and you're not fearful. So I wanted to share these things with you today. And you can find many more things on this show and in my column. And I can assure you that everyone in heaven is healthy, happy, and I don't know why, but they had me say, and still trying to make a difference. So I know from my mom, if we're having a problem down here, that heaven can shine a light on a situation. They can't change it all the time because we have God's free will, but they can shine a beautiful light on us. And I'm just going to read just something from the Quiet Mind, Sayings of White Eagle. I found something beautiful today that I'd love to share with you. God knows your need. God knows every need of your body, your soul, and your spirit. Learn to be calm and still and do your best with love in your heart. If you do your best, God will do the rest. Now trust in your best and in God. The answer to your own individual problem and heartache is to surrender all to God. Be still within. Be calm. Do not try to overdrive your life. Just be calm. Do your work quietly. Live as the flowers live, opening your heart to the sunlight of God's love. And I want to thank you for joining me today. It's truly always a blessing. Thank you. Until next time, enjoy.